Okay, so Twiztid's Cryptic Collection 5 is finally out, and just before anything, this might be feeling a bit fast-paced and rushed. I'm recording this at 3:30, it is hot as shit, to turn off my fan, so I gotta rush it before I melt. For the full release, it adds a total of 6 tracks, but 5 are only digital, and the 6th track is a physical release. I forget if it's on the vinyl, but I know it's definitely on the CD. I'm going to be talking about these new ones a bit more in depth, and then you already know the other ones, so I'll talk about them a tiny bit at the end, you'll see. So, Impending Evil is the first track, which is from 2013's Fright Fest single. And surprisingly, I do not remember hearing this. I don't really listen to their Fright Fest stuff often, and if it came out like a while back, like if it came out like 10 plus years back, I honestly have not barely heard their Fright Fest stuff. I know, shoot me, whatever. I just haven't. I have never gotten around to it. It's not on streaming, and you gotta search for it, and I just don't think to search it. But this did take me by surprise, and I love it. I am so glad it's on streaming, and it's pretty neat. It sounded great and eerie, which does make sense that it is from Fright Fest, from a Halloween-based thing. I don't think personally I would have picked it for track 1. My honest opinion, hot take, whatever. I feel like the Dojo, the Record Store Day single, was a perfect one because it just kind of builds in and then it kicks off. But this is still good too. It comes off a bit more eerie, booming, all that stuff. But I love it. It's good, and it might be one of my new favorite tracks I spin for a bit. Anomaly, track 2. It was actually supposed to be on Generation Nightmare. They said it in the Don't Play This For Anyone CD that it was supposed to be for Generation Nightmare. It was the first track created. But this one is different. This is the second version without Blaze. The first one that appears on the Don't Play This CD does feature Blaze, and it's 2:46. The one for this is 1:51, so it's about 50 seconds-ish less. Maybe 55 seconds, I'm not sure 100% on the math, but you know what I'm meaning. I can feel that it is from that era. That it is from, like, it could have been like an alternate universe Generation Nightmare. That would have been cool to see that kind of in like a double album, in a way. Like, part 1 and part 2, like one part sad, and not sad, but eerie, more darker feeling, like the original one is, and then another, like, happier, happy-go-lucky, upbeat one. But, regardless, it is still pretty cool, and it's neat that this is finally more coming to life and more digitally. Here Come the Killers is from 2017 Psychomania EP. That was a tour exclusive, I believe, but I think you could get it later on M&E's store as, like, freebie gifts and shit like that. And, honestly, it is one of my favorites off of that EP. It is a very solid track. It's neat that a majority of the Psychomania EP is on here, but kind of want to just air this out. Why not just put out the full EP release? You're only missing 2 tracks. The Psychomania, the whole M&E family version, I think it has Axe Murder Boys and Gorilla Voltage on it, and then the Fritz the Cat, I think it's the FTC Krylon mix. Why not just release the whole EP digitally instead of putting 4 of the 6 tracks on an album? That's just my opinion, but whatever. I'm happy it's on here. I love it. Feed the Beast is up next, and it was originally released as a single for the Back to Hell VIP in 2015. I think it was on the VIP edition of Cryptic Collections, if I'm correct. Not 100% sure, but yeah, it's from there. But I remember hearing this back in the day when it first got uploaded and loving it, and honestly, I think it holds up just okay. It's like not super great because, for me, the whole Darkness era feels like it's stuck in that era of like 2014 to like early 2016. Like that whole entire section, it just feels like it's kind of trapped in there. Unlike, I feel like the whole Evolution era that can be outside of the era, Generation Nightmare. I feel like a lot of the other eras of stuff that they've done can like age a bit better. This one, it's like, it's alright, it still is a good song, but I feel like it feels like it's stuck there. It doesn't feel like it's generational. Dead and Gone featuring Jaron Benton. This is the next one up, and this only appeared, as far as I'm aware, as the vinyl single for the B-side of the Dead and Gone release for a 7-inch. And if I'm correct, there was only 250 of those released. And this is weird, but I don't know if it's a full alternate mix or just a different mix on Madrox's vocals, because part of his verse, it's missing the I don't know if it's overdubbing or the backing vocals to a good chunk of the parts, and it's just weird. I'm like, oh, this was weird the first time I heard it, and it felt like it was missing something, and then I realized it was, and then I'm like, oh, weird. Now for the physical exclusive Bad Luck Magnet featuring Blaze. It is a CD exclusive. I believe it's on the vinyl as well. Do not know 100%, but it was originally released on this. That's the right way. Freak Show, Disturbed, and Unheard. This is the cassette version, only limited to 100, and there are, I believe, 2 different versions of the CD. One which actually has all the tracks on it, and the other has the Boondock sampler. But that is from the Freak Show era, which is crazy to think about, because, for one, I'm just going to say it right now, Twiztid, Magic Ninja Entertainment, whoever's in charge of physical releases at the company, please release this as a Record Store Day exclusive, either for the Record Store Day Black Friday or Record Store Day 25. Please make this happen. I don't know if you do not put it on a picture disc. No picture disc. Maybe, I don't know if I would do a color vinyl, like a splatter. I'm not a super fan of splatter. I would either want a, if you're gonna do that, red with white splatter, or just a pure, bright blood red. That's the only way to do that right. But the surprising part is this has been basically lost at that point for 20 years, and even after 24 years, the production on it is insanely well done, and it's honestly, I could see a couple tracks on Freak Show that I would maybe pick that song out and put this song in. I feel like there's a couple I could be okay, let's just swap them. But great song. I'm gonna definitely download this because it is not a digital streaming release, so I'll listen to it as well. I did already order the CD, so don't worry about that, so I will be able to listen to it like that if I ever open it, but yeah. And for the others, you can watch my previous videos on them to hear me talk more in detail about them. There will be in the album review playlist, but just for this one, since it's basically a 4-part review, I will make a Twiztid Cryptic Collection 5 playlist, which features all of them from start to now. And now, I did not think I would do this since it is a compilation, but we are going to go for the ear appeal, because even though it is a compilation, these tracks still have to be produced. They still have to be mixed and mastered and recorded properly. And I would say 99% of these are mixed well. Is there any that I can look at scrolling through quickly that might not be? Oh yeah, Tonight. The one where they basically took out Swagtooth. Because this is now the 3rd version of Tonight. There's the one with Ouija and Choir Boy, and then there's one without Ouija, and now there's one without Ouija and Choir Boy. I would have rather had the original, but I understand why they probably... I don't know why about the Choir Boy one, maybe the Ouija one, yeah, obviously the divide, the split, blah blah blah. But that's probably the reason for that. But why not the Choir Boy version? Because it just feels... It feels like that one's kind of a dead part in there. But for the overall album ear appeal, an 8. A solid 8, and it is crazy high, I know, but just listen. This is basically a bunch of singles that were not released digitally before. They were not available on a streaming service. I use Spotify, so that's what I go off of. You could either only listen to these on YouTube, through a video, in some cases Dead and Gone basically would be a vinyl rip. The other one would be a bit better, but yeah, that was pretty much the only way you could hear them, or to have a physical copy. So the fact that they are a actual digital streaming release makes it a lot better, and it's more of a variety grab bag. I don't really like making playlists, but I love compilations like this because it feels like a playlist for me, and I will be listening to this probably for the next couple months, if I'm gonna be honest. Overall score. We'll do overall score now. I will give this a 7.5, and the reason I say 0.5 less than the ear appeal is because while great production, great song choice. I feel like there was probably a lot of other tracks that were possibly either lost, scrapped, weird demos, even if they're like 30-second demos. I would have loved to have just heard it. Maybe like a live rehearsal of stuff from the Evolution or Generation Nightmare era. Like, there's so much stuff that could have been done. And yeah, I think one of the main reasons was, like, 4 tracks are from the Psychomania EP that could have been released digitally on its own. And, like, a couple other these, maybe do, like, the Cryptic Collection VIP on streaming. Do a couple of these on streaming services and kind of pull out those little VIP singles, because they're not really, like, collection, like, rarities, even though they're, like, bordering on that. But just make it their own. I don't know about Fright Fest stuff, because I don't know if people would bitch about it being close to Halloween shit, but whatever. But yeah, I feel like they could do a Fright Fest, like a whole album for that shit. They've been doing it for a hot minute. But yeah, I would have liked to at least seen some, because I don't know if the Freak Show Disturbed and Unheard is going to get a digital release. Like, you could have pulled another one from there. Maybe a couple from the Don't Play This album, because there's a ton of songs in there that could have definitely been on here. Yeah, I think that'll do it for this. I do not have the CD right now. I ordered it literally like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., May 2nd. So yeah, we're right there. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning into the album review. Even though this is basically a 4-part one, so I've dragged this out way longer than any other album that I've ever touched. But if you like me reviewing albums, put albums in the comments that are coming up that you would want me to review close to the release date. And if you like this video, let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do what I guess. See you in the next one.